Hey guys, Dub Pace here, and I'm just coming off about 3 hours of playing the new shooting test number one this morning. This is just freshly released, and the first thing I want to say is this is not like the shooting test that was accidentally deployed around like 5 a.m. about a month ago. I know there were select streamers that got to play that shooting test. This is not that. I want to go over the developer blog in which they talk about what their goals are with the shooting test and not only their goals, but the techniques that they're going to be using to try to accomplish those goals. So, as we all know, Bloom is whack. Sometimes you can be shooting at someone that you're shooting at their back. They're completely turned to you. In every other game, it should be a kill. But because of Bloom's RNG, you're not able to kill them properly, right? So, um, if Fortnite is going to be a competitive game, and I do believe it is likely in Epic's best interest to make it a competitive game, then when you shoot at somebody and you aim on someone's head, you should probably get a headshot. And Epic's response to this is they're going to be running these shooting tests, which are essentially test servers in which new shooting models other than the current Bloom model are going to be used. So for shooting test number one, they started by outlining their goals. The first goal for them was they do not think that pistols should not be able to snipe at long range. I know it's sort of entertaining to see someone shooting a revolver from halfway across, the map, and you headshot them, but their current implementation of preventing this from happening is just giant bloom. So when you shoot it and you're aiming right at someone's head, you might have like a what? It seems like maybe 7% chance, 8% chance of landing that shot. It's really, really rare because of the bloom reticle. So that's one of their main goals. And the second goal is that each weapon, all the weapons in the game should have different characteristics that encourage a wide range of engagements based on. Long story short, these characteristics are features. They want guns that are mid-range guns that excel at mid-range. They want guns that are close-range guns, and they want guns that are long-range guns. That's what I read. They also note in the blog a target type, which to me is very interesting because that means they do not only see guns as viable against other player targets, like other players, but also viable against other types of targets. E.g., for example, the new minigun seems to target specifically buildings, right? They also say ammo availability, etc. So those are their two goals. They don't really want pistol sniping to be a thing in the game, and they want different guns to feel differently, right? Okay. So in an attempt to accomplish those goals, they're not happy with the current model. I don't think any competitive player is happy with the current model. Bloom is just simply whack. I mean, it is not a competitive thing. It is really great for casual players. And reducing time to kill by using Bloom is just, or increasing time to kill by using Bloom is just bad game design. So I'm really glad to hear that they're trying different things. The two prototypes that they list on the developer blog that they're using to try to address this is one, first shot accuracy, which you can see here. And we'll get into the depths of that in just a second. But two is perfect accuracy plus recoil. And they do make the note, some of you might have seen videos online. An early version was accidentally turned on a while back. And this was the model that they used in that previous version. They used literally perfect accuracy. So if the dot is on the head, every single time you shoot, no matter what, if the dot is on the head, it's going to be a headshot. So obviously people would get super lasered, just and you're dead. Just the time to kill would be really low if that was the case. So the way that they tried to balance that was by adding really significant recoil. Okay. And what is implemented in the current shooting model number one, the one that just premiered, is first shot accuracy. So they lay that out. The first prototype we're ready to test is first shot accuracy. And in many ways, this version is very similar to our current experience. However, there are a few changes. Let's talk about it. Weapons now have first shot accuracy. The name implies everything. First shot accuracy. The first shot you take can have perfect accuracy, meaning if it's on the head, it's going to be a headshot. I single tapped him. I just single tapped him, you know? Just like that. When a weapon is enabled with first shot accuracy in the new shooting mode, it's indicated by a red glow on the reticle. It's very small, and it's right around the very center point of your reticle. You know, you have a crosshair, and then in the middle is the reticle. It's not in the crosshair, it's only on that little reticle. And to make that first shot accuracy apply, you need to do all three of these things. It's not one of these three things or two of these three things. You need to do all three of these three things. You need to be standing still. You cannot be moving and have perfect first shot accuracy. Keep that in mind. It's like Counter-Strike. You need to be aiming down sights. You cannot hip fire. You need to use your right trigger or your right mouse button to aim down sights for first shot accuracy to enable. And aim spread needs to be at its peak accuracy. Long story short, that means that you know when the crosshairs are wide and the width is very wide, it means when it shrinks to its smallest point. And I have more to say about that in just a second. There are ways to enable first shot accuracy faster than just normal. So we'll talk about that in just a second. So just to be totally clear, when you see the red dot appear in the middle of your crosshair, that means you have first shot accuracy. It only happens when you're aiming down sights and when the reticle is back to its resting position. So if you're running and you do it, it takes time for that red to show up. But if you're running and you crouch and you aim, it's faster. See? 1, 2, and then this is 1, about 1 second faster, it seems like. Just something to keep in mind. The second really important piece is that headshot critical hits have been reduced. So the implication for having first shot accuracy means there's less randomness of when you're going to get hits. If you can get a headshot, skilled players are going to get a headshot every time with their first shot, right? That's their ultimate goal. They're going to work towards being precision players and getting a headshot every time. So headshot critical hits have been reduced. For me, as a gamer, I can see this as Epic Games' attempt at increasing the time to kill, balancing the time to kill, so you don't just die in like 2 seconds, like, nah. You don't just instantly die. So headshot critical hits have been reduced. Shotguns are now 150% damage, was 250%. One quick note about this, guys. This is talking about the damage multiplier on base damage. This is not saying that shotguns headshot for 150 damage. In fact, I've found that they headshot for less than 150 damage, including pump shotguns. It was 250%. So that means when you were getting a headshot before, it was multiplying your base damage by 250%. Shotguns now are multiplied by 150% damage multiplier. All other weapons with headshot criticals are now 200% damage, down from 250% damage. So in general, every other weapon other than the shotgun has just been reduced by a 50% multiplier, but the shotgun has been reduced by a 100% multiplier. It's a big difference. I can significantly feel that shotguns are weaker. But that being said, I still feel they are really, really viable and very important in the current meta. He's under. People have asked, is double pump still viable? I think that double pump is more viable than ever because you really, really need to get 2 shotgun shots off to kill someone. In fact, double headshot seems to be the best way to ensure that you're killing someone that has 100 shield and 100 life, all right? The last really, really important thing, we'll get to the other balance adjustments in a second. The last really, really important thing is that damage fall off has been introduced for some weapons. That means that damage applies at 100%. So you get 100% the normal damage, to a fixed range. So for example, if I have a pistol and I'm going towards a guy, or I'm right next to a guy and I shoot him, I'm going to get, if we're like this, I'm getting 100% damage. If we go like this, 100%. We go like this, 100%. But after a fixed range, say for example right here, we go out just a little bit more, the damage begins to be reduced. Fall off begins at different ranges for different weapons. In my first experience, it seems like it's fairly obvious. Assault rifles engage the damage drop off at a longer range, more at mid range. Pistols get the damage drop off right after close range, and it starts to drop off significantly. Kill. The damage decrease goes up to 70% damage. So even at its furthest range, even if we're all the way apart, I'm trying to get my hands in the screen, all the way apart like this, no matter what, the damage will be reduced to 70% of normal. So 30% damage reduction at its maximum. All right. There are weapons that are unaffected: sniper rifles, rocket and grenade launchers, and shotguns. Other balance adjustments: they increase the damage on semi-auto sniper from 63 to 66 to 75 and 78 for the legendary, or for the epic and legendary variants, respectively. And scoped AR damage has had its damage increase from 25 to 26, up from 23 to 24. Because of first shot accuracy, it is plausible that scoped ARs are more viable. I didn't really experiment much in my 3 hours. I still think that they're likely not that great. Across the board, for all variants, every SMG has had +2 base damage added to it. I think SMGs are more viable than ever. They're amazing. They headshot like crazy. They're really, really good, and they might even be better than a shotgun. I think SMG close range versus a single shotgun, I think SMG will win. But single SMG versus double pump, I do not think that it will win. That's just my initial impressions. That's it. That really is it. I hope everyone has fun with the new shooting mode. I really enjoyed it. My only disappointment is it seems like it's squad only. I think that squads, personal opinion, I know it's controversial, I think squads are the least competitive mode of any mode. And it's hard to truly test the real balance implications because it's only in squads. Epic, if you're watching this or you happen to listen to this, please implement a solo mode so we can test this 1v1 more often, and we can make, more educated decisions as competitive players as to each implication of each change. Right now with squads, it's a little too chaotic. But I won a couple games. It was really fun. Last thing I'll say is be really careful in this game mode. You will feel like you get lasered faster than ever before. Because of the way that Bloom worked previously with bullets flying, all around you, you could kind of stay peeked out of your 1x1 that you built or whatever you're hiding behind. You can kind of stay out longer. And for me, I feel I developed a lot of bad habits because of the Bloom model. So just know the time to kill is faster. I feel it immediately. You die faster. You die faster. You die faster. It's harder to do 1v2s, 1v3s, 1v4s. You die much faster. So be careful out there. Have a lot of fun, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much, guys.